Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us for another series of One-on-One with Turnkey ZRG. Today we have Amy Azzi, who is the Senior Director of Sponsorships at T-Mobile. Amy currently leads sponsorships at T-Mobile, which includes responsibility for sponsorship platforms such as Major League Baseball, MLB clubs, Little League, esports, venues, and hospitality. In her role, she leads strategy development, negotiation, activation around major brand sponsorships. Her team also spearheads integrated marketing campaigns for T-Mobile to deliver best-in-class brand moments through cross-channel campaigns, partnerships, and player-influencer integration. She has led award-winning programs including T-Mobile's Home Run for Home Run MLB postseason initiative and the launch of the naming rights partnership in Seattle with T-Mobile Park, home of the Seattle Mariners, in addition to other technology-focused partnerships like Drone Racing League and Sail Grand Prix. Prior to T-Mobile, Amy spent 5+ years at Visa, building partnership marketing programs with Visa's clients to broaden engagement with issuer, co-brand, and merchant partners through Visa's NFL, Olympic, and FIFA sponsorship assets. Amy, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
How's your week going so far? I know, before the call we talked about it's baseball season, college football season coming up. Just what's a day in the life like for you today?
Yeah, you know what? It's busy right now, but excited to be busy. And we've got teams that just came off working on a great MLB All-Star Week in LA. Now headed to Williamsport for Little League World Series, and we've got SEC football right around the corner. So it's good.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Amy, recently you were just named as an SBJ recipient of the 40 Under 40 award. Congratulations on that acknowledgement. What does that recognition mean for you?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm grateful to be recognized in a group of people that's so accomplished in this space. I always have felt fortunate to work in the industry that we work in with what we do, day to day, the content that we work on day to day, and to be recognized in this space, with this group is really special. I think that one of the things that makes this industry great is the relationships that we all get to build with one another. And so it's great to stand alongside this group. I'm very appreciative.
Absolutely. That's awesome. So previous stints include, as mentioned, Visa, GMR, a few other stops along the way. Can you talk to us about your journey and just how you arrived to this point in your career?
Yeah, I mean, so my first job in sports business was I used to work game day operations at Stanford football games. So I was in college. We drove like 3.5 hours every Saturday to go to Palo Alto from Cal Poly so we could get this experience. And I was just hooked. The energy, from all the fans, just seeing what it takes to pull off a big event and moment like that. I mean, I was driving like a golf cart around with waters and taking the coaches to the locker room and all these things that go into just making those things happen. And I just loved the energy that came from it. So that was my start. And then I wound up working in higher education at Cal, at Stanford. So athletics, recreational sports, and then eventually made it to agency and brand side. But that was a great way to start off the career for sure.
That's incredible. I mean, just a couple, buzzwords and really just key learnings, sacrifice, fulfillment. You had to be passionate to drive 3.5 hours to and from a destination. I'm pretty sure that there were a lot of key learnings along the way. I mean, what were some things just as you learned throughout your career journey that really just helped motivate you and just keep you inspired to reach, where you are today at T-Mobile?
Yeah, I think most recently, coming into a leadership role in my time here at T-Mobile, and at Visa too. I mean, it was really about, for me, it's about listening to those around you, trusting and empowering the team. And I think I'm very fortunate to have built a really incredible team. I might be a little bit biased, but I do think they're some of the best in the business to showcase our brand on the stages that we do. And, so everyone on my team, I think, really trusting and empowering them to help us identify places that our brand should show up. As the leaders of the verticals in the space across my team, I look to them for how do we identify new spaces, new territories, new ways to show up together. And so I think if we can empower our team members and those around us to do more, then we can all accomplish a lot more together. And so I think that, that's something that I get excited to get up and come to work every day, because I get to work with them, learn from them, and we get to work together to do what we do and showcase the T-Mobile brand across our partners.
I love that, and that's actually a great segue to kind of shift in the conversation more so to your day to day, and really just how you build strategy and how that strategy complements the broader organization objectives. I mean, I think over the course of the past few years, we've been forced to just become more innovative and more thoughtful in terms of how we engage with core audience segments. Can you talk a little bit about, with more technology entering into this industry, how does T-Mobile stay creative, and how do you look to stay disruptive through innovation?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, you mentioned disruption. Disruption's part of our Un-carrier DNA, so that's
Yep.
always something that we're looking at. And for us, where we're going from a partnership standpoint is really shifting some of our sponsorships from traditional sponsorship to more of a technology partnership. We
Hmm.
are a technology, company at its core around the network that we provide to customers to connect them to their world. And it's about us finding ways for that network to also add value to our partners. And then how does that change the way that those partners either operate the game or bring new fan experiences? And so for us, a lot of the evolution and where you've seen a couple of those examples and things like Sail Grand Prix and us instituting things like 5G ship to shore connectivity that allows telemetry data, broadcast data, reduce latency so those decisions can be made faster either by those athletes on the boat or by production studios. Those are the types of solutions that we want to showcase in our network to be part of. It almost makes us an endemic part of those sports to be able to provide new ways for those partners to innovate. And so for us, that's a big part of sort of where we're going, how we're looking to evolve our partnerships is to use our network in ways that we can kind of contextualize what does 5G mean to a customer, to a fan, and really show them some ways that it can be used in a unique way. And so we've done that. Like I said, with Sail Grand Prix, Major League Baseball has been an incredible partner to look at innovation over the years across things like our 5G batting practice that we bring around All-Star Week and what we've done around World Series, and having captured that across our 5G network with a 5G device remotely to be able to capture some of that behind the scenes experience where we had over 1 million viewers this year. So it's been a lot of fun to come up with sort of new ways to bring fans, a unique view, but also help our partners change how they operate for the better.
That's incredible. That's awesome. So, I mean, as you think about, the right framework, I'm sure that you get cold emails and cold, phone calls almost on a daily basis from, sales professionals across various industries, leagues, and teams. I know I used to be one of those salespeople during my former life. But as you think about the framework, the perfect framework that kind of measures and dictates how you're evaluating partnership opportunities. Obviously, technology integration is one, but what are some other components that make up that framework that, as you review it, you just think that, okay, this is an opportunity that we need to pursue?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a few different things that we look at. I think, most broadly is obviously sort of audience first, right? I think for us, audience fit is always important. There are audiences and territories where growth is a priority for us, whether it's we've had recent coverage growth or distribution and sales growth that we can then help to sort of bring more access to customers like we're looking at in smaller towns, rural markets where we've added stores or, other unique coverage more recently that allows it, as another option for them in their place. And so a lot of times it's that combination of the audience, the growth geography that we're looking at, and then obviously, and so there's things like our SEC partnership that is really about we have expanded significantly the 5G coverage that we have in more rural markets. And so the South was an area we weren't as sort of represented from a brand standpoint. And SEC is a phenomenal property. Really happy to be working with them. And it's just an opportunity to sort of show who we are as a brand. And so, when we look at kind of that framework of like, does a partnership make sense? And we always appreciate people thinking of us. Certainly it's we wish, we always wish we could do more. But when we look at sort of prioritizing those partnership areas, it's really a combination of audience, of growth targets, and then of course somewhat of a brand fit and a network integration technology component. That do we have a story to tell together, and is it a partner where we can come in and add value and make a contribution to that community and those fans, with something that's important to us as well. So that's often a big part of how we assess new partnerships going forward.
Incredible, and quite frankly, I think it shows why you are a recipient of 40 under 40. I mean, really just thinking about the business in a different way. It's not just, as you worded it, not just about traditional partnerships anymore, traditional sponsorships. It's about creating fully integrated, complex, 360-degree fan engagement vehicles that are adding value not only to the property, but to the fans of that property, and also that can add value across various business units within your organization. So that's awesome. Obviously, I think as we think about the economic climate, the political climate, there's a lot of things that's transpiring from a macro standpoint that could potentially have an impact on the business and how you evaluate sponsorship opportunities. What are some macro trends that you're paying attention to that really contribute to how you decide when and where to make strategic investments?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of different areas that we keep our eye on. I think the primary one is really staying close to consumption of media. Where are fans tuning in? Seeing some of the shift in viewership metrics and live consumption and digital consumption, seeing a lot of that shift towards digital content. I think that area is so important for us because it goes hand in hand with where our partnerships show up. How do fans want to consume sort of some of that content? And so I think that's a piece that we stay really close on, and follow. And then we're also following other areas of the business and sort of just where what sports are trending, what's happening in golf and Formula One, and with our partners in baseball. And so of course keeping up on the industry as a whole, but I think media consumption is something that is integral to sort of how we show up, and so certainly something that we want to be mindful of.
Absolutely. And then, as you think about the future of this industry, I mean, you're probably in a category that has some of the most excitement ahead of itself, just in terms of, the level of creativity and innovation that's going to continue to take place. I really think we're only scratching the surface. What are you excited about as you think about the future of sport and entertainment?
So what excites me about the future of sports business, I think we are really looking at long-term partnerships that help to change how a fan might experience, or the things that they might be able to experience from that sport over time. And so I think looking to see some of those conversations and developments over time come into play is really what we're excited about, is showcasing our network in new ways. We also, for T-Mobile, we've got different lines of business that we're now getting into, things like home internet, showcasing some of our custom network solutions with our T-Mobile for Business group. And so finding new ways for us to talk about new areas of our business, is also an exciting place to sort of take what we've learned and where we've been with partnerships and apply that to new growth categories for us is certainly, exciting future prospect.
Incredible. Awesome. No, thank you so much for that response, Amy. And then the last question that I have, I think, especially with individuals such as yourself, reaching high levels in this industry, I think a responsibility we have is really just to pay it forward, to up and comers, young marketers, young sponsorship professionals who aspire to be where you are. What are some words of advice that you might have for up and comers in the industry as they look to ascend within their careers?
Yeah, I think, when people reach out, there's a couple of things I often say. I think one, find something you love doing, follow that curiosity. I've always been a believer that you work hard and good things will come, right? Like you find something you enjoy doing. It also doesn't feel like as much work, but we're in an industry where we all work very hard. But if you enjoy that day to day, you're naturally going to excel and want to be pushed to find new ways to evolve and innovate. And that I think is so important for growth in this industry to continue to find new ways to add value. And then I think just be open to new opportunities and experience, any way they come. I think getting different perspectives across the industry. I feel fortunate to have worked across agency, property, brand, and I think that having that perspective is so helpful in how we all work together, and how we work with those across the table from us. So I think just being open to sort of some of those new experiences wherever they might come from, is always important for someone starting out.
That's incredible, Amy. Well, look, again, thank you so much for your time today and participating in our one-on-one series. Look forward to staying in contact with you. Any way that Turnkey ZRG could be a resource to you or anybody feel free to reach out. But thank you so much and congratulations on everything that you've been able to accomplish today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys having me.